Welcome to the Donovan and Jorgensen Heating and Cooling Friday Night Rivals pregame show. I am Mike McGivern. Thank you so much for joining us. So week one of high school football season is always a very exciting time for these players, coaches, families, schools, and communities. It's time when school is back in session or about to be back, and so much goes into that. And on the field, coaches are wondering if they've done enough to have their team ready to go. If players who have not gotten much time on the varsity level are up for the task, and the nervous energy that could be felt on the field, on the sidelines, and in the stands, you can almost cut with a knife, and I love that. The boys of fall are back and ready to get after it. We are so excited to bring it to you here on My 24. For the next 9 weeks, join me for the pregame show at 6:30 every Friday night as we get you ready for kickoff. We'll talk to each coach and introduce you to a behind-the-scenes superhero of the game. This week's game is Catholic Memorial at Franklin. And when you talk about two of the best high school football programs in the state of Wisconsin, Catholic Memorial and Franklin are in that conversation. Year in and year out, if you pick these two teams to go deep into the playoffs, you are right way more times than you're wrong. Both teams have a number of holes to fill on both sides of the ball. And you know that old saying, it's next man up. That's something that both programs have always done a great job understanding and figuring out how to get those players ready to play at a very high level. So let's start with the Franklin Sabres. From the Southeast Conference, last year they went 13-1 overall. Undefeated in conference and lost in the state Division I state championship game to Milwaukee Marquette. We're now joined by the head coach at Franklin High School. He's Lewis Brown, 14th year as the head coach in his 33rd year in the program, recently put into the Wisconsin Football Coaches Association Hall of Fame. Lewis, how you doing today?
Doing great.
Man, big week, right? First week, and we talked a little bit in the intro about there's some major holes at both teams, Catholic Memorial and Franklin, like every year. You've got to fill. Feeling pretty good about where your team is before kickoff here tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got we made some nice long runs the last 3 years. A lot of guys have got a lot of experience, whether they started or they're key backups. So, the key backups, it's their time, and the returning starters, it's their time to be leaders.
Yeah, that really is. We talk a little bit about next man up, Lewis, and I think these two programs, two of the best football programs in the state of Wisconsin, certainly have done a great job of that next man up. And you always are wondering if these kids are ready to play at that level. And it seems to be with football, after that first week, you guys learned so much about your team and who's ready to play at the varsity level. And I don't know if there's another week that you learn more about your team than after week one. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. That's why, Bill will probably agree with this as well. That's why you schedule a great opponent week one. You got to find out, right? Wasn't always the case, but I would say over the past, 10, 12 years, that's kind of what I've done. I know the last 4 times we've gone to state, 2 of the last 4, I think we lost our first game, believe it or not. Learned a lot about ourselves, grew from it, and went on a nice run. So, we're excited for a lot of new young players that it's their time. We're excited to see how they're going to handle Friday Night Lights against a great opponent.
In the off season, that's when a lot of things are made and these leaders really come into play. Coach, I've talked to coaches throughout the years, and they've said, look, some of the younger guys think if they have Franklin or Greendale or some of these programs that are constantly near the top, if they have that on the front of their jerseys, they're going to be able to win games. It seems to me that Franklin takes the offseason really seriously, and these kids are in the weight room a lot. This year, no different than any other, correct?
Yeah, correct. I was telling the guys who were at practice yesterday that, our numbers are as good as last year's team. We always test in May. Our speed was probably a little better. Our strength was as good, if not slightly better. Now, the one thing this group does a lot better than last year's group, to be honest, is, don't get me wrong, last year we had a lot of really good football players. That's pretty important. They work together, and they like lifting weights together. COVID kind of set some kids back. They thought they had to go see a personal trainer and all that thing. And my big thing is doesn't matter where you lift, you're going to get stronger, but you got to do it next to the guys you're going to be playing with. And this group is really bought into that. So the weight room numbers have been great, not just in maxes, but have also been great in attendance.
That's awesome. Coach, I want to talk about some of the senior leaders on this team and guys that are going to have to step up, and all these guys had really good years last year as well. I want to start on the defensive side of the ball if we can. And defensive lineman, Ben Hefter is a guy that you're going to count on a lot, and he had a great year last year. And to step up and now be one of the leaders both on the field and off the field, he's a kid who's ready for that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a 2-year starter. Anytime you start as a sophomore in our program, I mean, it says a heck of a lot. I mean, he started on our state championship team. Or actually, no, he didn't start on that team. He started the year after when he was a sophomore. But yeah, he leads by example. He's not a super vocal guy, but boy, he just makes plays all over the field. I mean, he's a physical specimen. He's probably 240 pounds, runs like a 4.7. He's a starting third baseman as a sophomore on varsity baseball. He's just a great athlete with a big, great athlete. It's nice to have big guys, but having them being able to run guys down. And I think he put on another, 15 pounds of good weight this offseason. And he's not going to surprise anyone. Everyone knows he's our dude on the D-line. But he should be a problem.
Hey, Coach, on the back end, Dominic Walters is a kid who made some big plays for you last year. And when you've got somebody like Ben, on the D-line, and then somebody like Dominic who takes care of that, the back end of that, man, he's a kid that not only he doesn't mind coming up and hitting, but he certainly is around the ball a lot, makes big plays for you.
Yeah, everything revolves around him. He is special. Like you said, I've been here 33 years. When it's all said and done, knock on wood, if everything goes well, he'll be the best safety we've ever had. And we've had some really good ones. He can do it all. He's got a 4.4 like 2 grade point average. He's one of the top 5 kids in his grade academically. He's fast as heck. He's strong as heck. And he's just a football player. He's always around the ball. Now he's becoming truly our defensive leader. He was kind of quiet as a sophomore. He's only a junior this year. So we're lucky to have him for a couple of years. But when he's in there, he'll be around the ball. You will notice him right away for sure.
Hey, Coach, and we only have a couple of minutes. So, Coach, on the offensive end, your quarterback who had a great year last year is coming back, and Joey Callie is a kid that you guys count a lot on. It's his huddle, right, on the offensive end, and he's got some tools to work with. Got a running back who graduated who put up big numbers, but Joey's a kid that you're counting on, and he can spin a little bit. He can throw it.
Yep. Joey's he's going to be a 3-year starter. There's not a lot of kids at Franklin that have been 3-year starters for us. When he was a sophomore, he kind of got thrown into the fire when our quarterback got injured, and every game he just gets better and better and better. And he's turning into a tremendous leader, and he's got a lot of weapons around, which helps.
Yeah, he does. And one of those weapons is Ben Fergus, who is as good a tight end, I think, as you're going to find. And he catches anything around him, and he believes it's his ball, and he's going to get it.
Yep. Ben, 245 pounds, 6'5". He's a D1 tight end. He's got everything. He's a 3-sport kid, great hands, unbelievable. I think he's a better blocker than he is a catcher. So I think he's really going to turn a lot of heads. To me, he's a Big Ten tight end. And we're excited to, he doesn't have to play defense, which is kind of cool. We might put him over there once in a great while, but only having him on one side of the ball as fresh as he's going to be he's going to be a problem.
Man, that's awesome. Louis, we're so excited about tonight's matchup, and you guys never shy away from playing really good competition. Looking forward to this game. Kick off in about 20 minutes, and looking forward to that. and I appreciate your time. We're going to get to a break. Other side of the break, we will be joined by Coach Bill Young from Catholic Memorial. This is the Donovan and Jorgensen Heating and Cooling Friday Night Rivals pregame show only on My 24.